I lost my pen. There it is. Hello, everybody. We are live. We have some really nice lights going on, but you know, they're going to ding us for this, so you need to just turn the light on.
Yes?
Yeah.
What, these often?
Yeah. So, I hope somebody comes in because I've got stories to tell. Happy Halloween, everyone. Or anyone who might be here. I think I spelled Halloween wrong. Halloween. Arthur, hello. Say hello to Arthur.
Hello, Arthur.
Do you hear that? the squirrel is out on the porch trying to...
Talking to Squeaks. Huh?
Well, yeah, Squeaks wants to be out there getting peanuts, but that's not happening. My eyes are blown out. I see 2 more of you there. I even got 2 thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. I have some stories to tell y'all. I even have I have a haunted graveyard photo that I took. I'm a ghost, by the way. You have a wonderful name for today and for every day, but today. Hi, Scenes01. Happy Halloween. I was saying before, I've got stories, true stories. Hey, Mainstream. Squeaks is here. Belle, say hi to Mainstream.
Hello.
I was in Main, I think it was, or was it Basic? I don't know. I was in somebody's live stream last night. It was fun, but I was worried about somebody driving through the rain talking. So I'm going to wait and see if maybe we can get 10 people. Right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway there. If we don't, we don't. I'll start pretty soon.
There's a black kitty in the background.
She's not black. She's tort. She's a tortie. You want to come here? Sorry, Bill. You want to come here and say hi to all your fans and friends? Happy Halloween, Kelly. So nice to see you here. Say happy Halloween. She says, stick it, guys. I'm going away from this light. Well, I've lost my pen. There's my pen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 9. No. Ah. How come I get on the live stream and there's a hair in my mouth? Like an eyelash. It's weird. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, Patty, how you doing? Appreciate that, Kelly, very much. Okay. So what I'm going to do, tell my stories, show you my one picture, which I've probably lost by now. It's on my phone, which is right here. Now, we have some special guests. They're just here to watch. And this is them. We have the nun, who's bitching and moaning because she wants the lights out completely. Oh, thank you. Yep, I'm batty, so. Then we have Pinhead, who says he'll tear our souls apart. I won't let him do that. And I forgot to show you this the other day. Chucky. The brand new Chucky. I got him from, obviously from Walmart. He's off, he's on. And I may or may not have another young lady. Hello, Weapon X. How you doing? We're doing pretty good, Patty. We're doing pretty good. You know me, Halloween's my favorite time of the year. And I'm going to enjoy this. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try not to read everything there or I'll never get through this. And the first thing I kind of would like to do, I don't think any of you all, unless you have been on my website today on, oh, well, that's special. Okay. Okay. That didn't happen during. Nice, Chucky. I know I love him. Okay, so this picture, you may want to take a screenshot, try to get there. What is that? Well, there's something. Oh, I know what it is. Okay. And then I'll show you things that hey LJ, happy Halloween. See, I'm just gonna look at pictures. This is from the Ferndale Cemetery. If you know Ferndale, the whole town is a Victorian town. They have everything's old there and it's very cool. This was the top of the cemetery. We actually walked into the mist. It was surreal. And I took a bunch of pictures and everything was fine. And then this was the picture at the end of the roll. This is professional. I think it was 400 ASA. It may have been 800. I don't know. I wanted to catch what I could catch. There was a cat, but he ran away. He was an orange tabby, which I love, my favorite kind of cat. Okay, I will open one place a little larger. You know, this is just giving me fits here. Right there. And I don't know what you guys see. I see a person or a demon or whatever coming out of the dirt. He's not even sitting there like some of the other, there's there. Here in the corner, oh, and of course my buddy down here. So if any of you see anything, stop it. If any of you see anything, because one time somebody pointed, I've had this picture for years, probably 10 years or longer. And somebody one time pointed it out to me and said, there's a woman right in here somewhere, or maybe in here. I don't know. I couldn't see it, but that was hers to see, I suppose. Rebecca, hello. Oh, okay, I'm not going to look there. So these stories that I have to tell you are 100% true as I lived them. Now, some of them I was younger, and you know how when you're younger, you don't remember things the way an adult would. And to really understand this, you need to understand my childhood, and I'm not going to spend time talking about that crap. There will be one time I'll have to will that light go on? That one. Will it? Because I can't read this. So the first story I want to tell you, and I have a lot, so I'm going to try to get through it. I would like to stay till 7:30. Anybody who has to leave can leave. It's okay. A little. The first story I call Ben's Angel. My stepfather's name was Benjamin, and he was from Bologna in Italy. And he apparently had a vision of my mother before he met her. Mom had very long black hair, and she dressed very, hi there, Jacob, looks good. Okay, I'm not looking there. If anybody wants a closer look at that photo, I can email one to you. Just let me know. You know, that nun and Pinhead, and heaven forbid Chucky, they may not like you stepping on them. So Ben's Angel. So yeah, my stepfather, and he told this story over and over and over, and it never really changed. It was always the same thing. He was sitting somewhere, and this is after his family migrated to the United States. They migrated and lived in Pennsylvania. So he was sitting outside. There's a lot of coal mines in Pennsylvania, and I believe that was where he was sitting, I guess, waiting for his dad to come out or something. But anyways, he turned around and he saw this woman standing on a big rock. Did she see another bug? Good Lord, that's not a bug. So anyway, he turned around and there was a woman that he could see through, and he knew it wasn't a real woman. And Italians are like most Latin men and women, they don't like none of this stuff unless it's Day of the Dead, which is so fun. But anyway, he turned around to look at her, and she didn't look at him. She didn't look at anybody. She had her finger up. And as soon as he noticed her, she ascended and disappeared. And when he met my mom, he was like, "That's you. That I saw you when I was a kid." The man was of questionable morals, but he did love my mom, and so he was happy that he found her. Okay, I think I've told this story, so I'll just, my grandmother lived in a house that was actually one of the first built in the section of El Monte where she lived. It was in South El Monte, and she lived way back. You know, you would think she lived in the sticks. There was no, there was no stop sign going the one way, and so there was always a horrible accident that you could come it's around 70s hippie. Yeah, so I stayed with my grandma, actually with my aunts, 2 aunts, an uncle, and my grandma. They made a little section for me in the corner of their huge living room, and then there was a chair kind of off to the side, but in front, where my bookcase ended, there was a chair. It was like a Barco lounger, and then the TV was there. And when I say TV, it was a big box with a little black and white screen. And to change the channel, you had to walk up to it. And I hate electricity. And I think this may be why, because, well, it was, but not at this incident. But I would always, to this day, I tap things every time, even no matter what. I've been anyway. So I opened my eyes. I was awake. I turned on my side to get up, and I glanced at, and I was still laying down. I glanced up at the chair just in time to see this white flowy dress leave. I sat up as quick as I could, made myself dizzy, and there was nothing there. And there was nobody else in the room to verify that for me. Everybody that time of the morning is scattered, doing what you do in the morning, which to me is sleep. But yeah, so there's that. Grandma's house was scary. I didn't like anybody's. Okay, now some of these I may be dropping back and forth in time zones. This one came from high school. I had a good friend named Linda. Her family had a very large house behind their business, and now Hi, everybody. I'm just talking. I want to look at what everybody's saying, but I'm just trying to tell these stories. So Linda's family was um kind of well off. They owned two business they owned two the same business, but two locations. And she had a huge room that was made out of a two or maybe a three garage, three car garage, two. It might have been, but it could have been three. It was huge. And oh, I was going to say, you got to remember at that time, I was kind of a new Christian. I was raised science, Christian Science, and I had been, I was a brand new Christian. I carried a Bible everywhere. And now when I look back at it, it was kind of, oh, look at me, I'm a Christian person. But when somebody asked me about it and about this situation, about that situation, I would tell them. So my friend told me one time that another friend, it's Portland. I'm not talking to Portland. I don't know why my phone's ringing at Portland. But anyways, it's playing Metallica. So anyways, there was two and now there was three who knew this story. And I think boyfriends knew it. That's why they didn't come around. But so she had what she called a devil in her room. Now I'm going to tell you this, and everybody knows this, but a lot of people don't understand it. Hey, Haley, nice to see you, baby. Caitlin, I meant to say hi. Hi, everybody. Kenneth, Kelly, everybody, hi. I'm just getting through this. Some of these are really interesting, and some of these aren't. This one's an interesting one. So apparently she and my other friend had been sitting in the living room, cross-legged on the floor or on a chair, and they had been talking. And it appeared to them, an Indian, and there's nowhere in the United States where you won't find somewhere that Indians were or people were. Actually, in the whole world, there's no place that hasn't been touched except maybe in the middle. Hey, Venom Thing, maybe in the middle of the Amazon, and that's even getting a little bit, that's becoming harder and harder to have anybody that, the Amazon's being burnt down, and don't even get me started. So they saw that, and he was sitting cross-legged also, and he was maybe 3 feet off the ground, and he was warming his hands by a fire. He was wearing something that was either green or cast in green, like there was a green cast around him. Excuse me, still coughing. And he didn't acknowledge them at all. However, they saw him and they got up and ran out, screaming probably. So I was told about that, and I was like, oh, that's just, I didn't know the word residual, but I said, that's just something that's going to happen. He didn't pay any attention to you because he didn't see you. He was in his time frame. That's what I thought back there. And I kind of still, now they call it residual. He's left over, and it has to do with limestone and your belief system and the whole thing. She said that this devil, as she called it, and I pretty soon told her, well, devils, there's a devil, and then there's a bunch of demons. And I think what you're talking about is a demon. And, every day she'd come and say, can you come to my house? Because I got to get this thing out. And I know you're a Christian person and you can get this thing out. And I'm like, anybody could be a Christian person and go in there, and you can go in there and She said, I've tried. Well, one day she came to school because I was not real excited about doing my first, like, helping somebody that has probably a fairly high demon. This wasn't a, baby demon. This guy knew what he was doing. So she came to school and she took her top off. We were in gym. She took her top off and turned around. She had a huge thumbprints and huge. I mean, went all the way to the back of her back. And then she had bruising. These are bruises. And she had like what looked like a big hand, the side of a hand. And then 4 what looked like fingerprints. And she had been pulled out of her bed and tossed on the floor. And not gently, but, next morning she wakes up, she's got this on her skin, and now it's, someone has to believe her because there it is. So Saturday night, I told her I'd come over, brought my Bible, brought myself, and that's all I had. We were in her room. We had been talking and avoiding the subject. And pretty soon she says, let's try to get some sleep because that's, when stuff happens. I said, okay. So she turned the lights off. She owned about 5 to 7 huge fish tanks. And they all had the lights on and had the bubbles. It was very relaxing. So all of a sudden, and this is the second time it happened in my life, all of a sudden there was like a light turned on, like I don't know if you guys know what a ghost light is. When you have on stage, they leave a light, a very weak light on the middle of the stage front. And it's for the ghost performer, so he has his light. And that's what it looked like. And I looked up, I had my back to her, and it started getting a little brighter, a little at a time. And pretty soon she said, do you see that? And I said, yeah, I think I see something. What do you see? And she told me exactly what she saw and where it was. And she's like, get up and run. And she pushed me out of the bed. There were twin beds. She reached over and pushed me with all her might. And I've never been a small girl, but she pushed me pretty hard. And I was, do I have any, yeah, I need Alex. I need somebody. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Alex. Thank you. So I got up off the floor and I grabbed her doorknob, which didn't have a lock on it. And I turned it, but it didn't turn. I pulled it, but it was like there was 500 pounds of concrete setting against it. And I didn't pull, I pushed out because it had been the door to the garage. So I couldn't move it no matter what I did. And so she goes over there, she touches the door and it flies open and we flew out of it. And we went in the kitchen because she had never seen it in any part of the house. The first time she saw it, she was in the pool, which was right by her bedroom. And she had dived into the pool. Hi, Dana. Say hi, Dana.
Hi, Dana.
She had dived into the pool, and when she looked up, she saw a dark figure. She thought it was her mom or dad. She swam up to the top. It was a deep pool. It's okay, Dana. No problem. I'm only on my third story. This is a longer one. And this demon was dressed in what she thought was black, like the Grim Reaper. And I tend to think he was probably had smoke around him or something. I don't know. But he turned around and pointed to her room and went in and walked right through the windows with them being closed. And that's how it started. So we were still good friends, but I didn't go to her house anymore. So that's that story. Here's a story that you have to know a little bit of background. My mom, and I'm not ashamed of this, was schizophrenic. She was very ill. I had spoken on the phone from a minister that was a guest on the radio, and he had talked about going to a foreign country where they had like stood in line to cast out demons, for him to cast out demons. Hi, Quick Draw. Hi, Quick Draw.
Hi, Quick Draw.
And so I actually called in and I was waiting in line. Pretty soon they answered the phone and they're like, what do you want to say? What do you want to ask? You know, so and so bad. I can't even remember his name, but he was very famous at that time. Hi, Chef. So I told them about my mom, what she did, the fact that she could speak Italian, which you wouldn't think was that big a deal, but she usually could only say the cuss words and the food. I can say the food. But she would talk fairly advanced for my mother. She was from Kentucky, and her words in English were hard to understand for some people. Anyway, she did a bunch of other things, and he pronounced her possessed. And so that scared me. And actually, I put the horse before the cart. That happened, but before that, which is the reason I call this my mom's lock and talk story. I was in I was in 6th grade. I went to 6th grade for about 3 months, and back then it was a 9-month year. I went 3 months, and then my mom used to do this thing where she would gather me up, be hysterical because somebody was coming and we had to leave. One time she left the heater on full blast in the middle of the summer because my mother was cold all the time. And she took me up to the mountains. It was horrible. But she usually took me to Malibu because people at Malibu had drugs, but she smoked pot every once in a while and she didn't know where to get it. People there thought she was cool. I would sit in the truck and just wait and hope and pray we got home. She got really bad. That actually probably the worst time. What we would do is back then, before Reagan was governor and completely ruined the mental health system, I could excuse me, I could take her to, or my aunt and I would take her to the hospital, which at that time was Norwalk Hospital, and then I believe while my mother was going there, they changed the name to Metropolitan State Hospital. It was in Norwalk. And it was kind of a bad place, but it was better than like General Hospital, which is now USC Medical Center, and it may not even be USC anymore. But and I could get her in there and they'd hold her for 2 weeks. They'd get her all set on her medication. note, remember I said she was Christian Scientist, they don't even believe in doctors, they don't take medication, but when you're in a straitjacket and you take your medication. She had gone through every new thing that came down the pipes, including, this wasn't new, but she had had a couple rounds of shock treatments and did nothing to her, did not help her whatsoever, and didn't hurt her whatsoever. She was just kind of confused for a day or two, and then she was fine. She was I don't know how to explain her, but so one day she decided, after a trip to Malibu and back, that I was not able to go to school anymore because she was very worried about Nazis and communist people. So she locked me in my room. Now, when I say lock, there was no lock on my door. I could have opened it and walked out anytime I wanted to, except my mother would talk to people day and night because she was people that are mentally ill, especially with schizophrenia, and really the ones who end up hurting their brain because they're on meth, they're probably worse. But my mom could stay up 2 days, 2.5 days a week. And it seemed like when I was sleeping, I would sleep when she was quiet. And why I didn't sneak out of the house, I don't know. I just didn't have anywhere to go. My grandma lived in the city over, and it was a bad walk. It's like walking through gunfights and stuff. There's a lot of gangs in that area. And I was almost more afraid of them than I was of my mom. And then pretty soon I'd hear her start yelling. And she used to talk to Mr. Black, Mr. White, Mr. Good, Mr. Bad, Mr. And then she'd answer in a weird voice. Sometimes different voices she'd use. It was never like Reagan in The Exorcist, but it was enough to set my teeth to chattering. And she never heard of food, apparently. But my stepfather, the same one who saw her, and I don't know why I wanted to keep her, but he would bring me McDonald's like twice a week. And there'd be enough to save for the next day. Oh, hush. That means I have a message. Axel, hi. So I lived like that until about a month before, I think before school, and it's cloudy for me. I really honestly don't know when it ended. I do know that the school, back then you could be held back a year and another year and another year. You could be 21 by the time you graduate high school, which I never knew anybody like that, but technically I guess that could happen. And I fully expected to be held back. However, my mother did a lot of crap at my school to make them pretty much afraid of me and her. So they just passed me through. I never took any kind of test. Hey, greetings from Argentina. Cool. Greetings from Oregon, USA. So anyway, I finally got out of the room. My aunt came and got me and took me shopping, so I had proper clothes. She wanted to know where I'd been. And she may have been the reason my mom pulled her act together. And of course, by the time my aunt got there, she'd been taken to the hospital. And I got to spend time with my aunt and uncle, which was wonderful. So there, that to me is a demon story. Maybe, maybe not. So that's Mom's lock and talk. Picture showed you that, the fire alarm. Okay, one more thing about my mom, which he actually experienced when we moved to Ridgecrest. My mother was extremely vain. She was beautiful. That's her. I don't know if you can see her very well. That's my mom. She had raven black hair, green eyes, killer figure, and was very vain. We moved to, and I'd never lived out of Southern California in my life. We moved to where his family lived, which was in Ridgecrest, California, right at the airfield for China Lake Navy Base, Navy Air Base. I know. What is the Navy doing in the middle of the desert? And I guess they have places everywhere. But we had moved in, and I was putting stuff around the walls so we could put it up. Well, her picture, I turned it around. I just wasn't over everything yet. And so we were walking around doing things, and we weren't cooking, and the fire alarm, what are they called? The fire thing that tells you when you've burnt your food or when you actually have a fire, it went off. Fire detector. It went off and just was loud and obnoxious. And I'm like, Bill, take the battery out of it if it's going to do that. So he got up there, and what happened?
Wasn't any battery in it?
Not one battery to be seen. So I knew right away. I said, sorry, Mom, I'm sorry. And I picked the picture up and I turned it around and put it on the wall. And we never had that problem again. Scary? Scared me. Okay, the house on Rush. When I was pregnant with my first child, her name's Alondra. If you're watching, Alondra, I'm sorry I'm embarrassing you, but it's not like anybody can go find you. We moved from kind of the bad part of town to an unincorporated area where everybody had horses and ducks and pigs and chickens and oh my, there was everything you can imagine. And it was a cool area, and the house was big. The living room was huge. My mom didn't tell me. She lived, actually my grandmother lived next door. We were on the corner lot, and then she was next door. And we I'm like zoning out. We moved from a bad area, and I was like 7 months pregnant, and I was huge because I can't keep food out of my mouth. And so we moved there. I loved it there. My mother wanted to be as close to me as possible. So short of sleeping with us, she rented out we had like a rumpus room, my mom called it, but it really was a very small apartment. And so she stayed there to make sure I was okay. And the funny thing is, she's why I wasn't okay. But so I had the baby. Her name is Alondra. She was gorgeous. She has the most beautiful, even to this day, she has the most beautiful full lips and green eyes. They're like a very interesting shade of green, kind of like with brown in it. I don't want to say hazel because that's more of a brown, but so she was born, and I had 6 weeks more after. You get 6 weeks before and 6 weeks after back then. Happy Halloween, everybody. But anyways, you know, she'd let me go on Thursday. It was the day she didn't work. And when I say work, she worked like a dog. My mother's work ethic was crazy. And she did, she cleaned people's houses. She was completely uneducated. I don't think she went past 6th grade, if that much. Whereas my uncle, who was the only boy in the family, actually graduated from college because that's the way it was back there. Girls didn't need to know a lot because they were going to get married and hopefully marry well. And then, you know, they didn't need to know anything except how to cook and how to sew. And my mom never even learned that. But I keep losing track. So what was I? Which story am I on?
Mom and house on Rush.
Ah, yes. So we moved to the house on Rush. I had the baby. And so, of course, my ex-husband and myself would take turns. He worked, I didn't, but I just had a baby. Why should I get up? Kidding. Sometimes I did say that. I probably said it every night. Okay, you happy? But of course, he would make me go. And this one night, I went, and I used to love to hold her and look at her lips because they truly were beautiful. The nurses used to like, no, I'm going to take her. No, I'm going to take her. Because she was a very pretty baby. And she had those lips. And I would look down at her and coo at her and all that stuff. And so I was doing that. We had a borrowed, against my will, rocking chair. So I would sit in there and it faced down the hallway. It was Alondra's room, the hallway, my room. So I could look straight across and see my room. So I looked up just in time to see my husband walk into the bedroom, into the darkness. And I thought, well, you know what? I'll get up and talk to him while I'm feeding the baby. So I got up and I walked in there, and he wore, in the 70s, you know, this is 78, but we all wore them. I didn't like them, but they were unfinished muslin, and he loved them. So he had a pair of those. So those he wore all the time. I walked in the room and they were laying on the floor, and he was in bed snoring. So I woke him up and I was like, were you just in the bathroom or in the, in the dining room or no, I wasn't. I'm asleep. So I told him what happened. He told me to feed the baby and go back to bed. So, Mr. NBA. Okay. Hello. Anyways, so I was freaked out because I had never really seen a complete full-bodied apparition. A ghost. His head was blurry, but I think my mind put in the blonde hair. Okay, this is not one of those, but thank you. Appreciate it. But so oh yeah, so I think my mind, my brain, put in the back of his head, but it was actually kind of blurry. But you're up in the middle of the night and you're sleep deprived and you haven't had a Twinkie for an hour or two. So I just went back and sat in my chair and I kept looking up and looking up. So the next day I told my mother, And she said, oh, she goes, somebody's been walking up and down in the back. Now, my back, you drove in the garage and then you got up, you walked down this long walkway. There's 2 or 3 steps. You unlock the door and you come in. And my mom said, oh, there's been something or somebody walking up and down the walkway, and they've been opening the door and slamming it. They're slamming it really hard. And I'm like, is she ill? No, because I was the first one to know. I could look her in the eyes, and I can still look people in the eyes and tell you that they're not right. But anyway, I was like, why didn't you tell me this? And she's like, I don't know. I just thought you knew or whatever. So then I used to go Thursdays to the movies because the young man behind me, this is my bell, Mr. NBA. What's your first name, Mr. NBA? Okay, tell us when you can. Anyways, I used to go Thursdays. I used to go to the movies by myself. And she would let me go to the movies, and she would stay home with the baby, which she really loved. Hi, Cameron. Nice name. I like that name. So one day I was getting to go to the movies. I put one of the only things that would fit on me, and I'm walking around, and I'm sitting in the living room, and my mom came walking up and just stopped dead at the doorway to the kitchen. And she said, I just saw you. Thank you, Mr. NBA. I just saw you in the baby's room. There's somebody in the baby's room, and they're looking in her crib. So I jumped up, we ran in there, and there was nobody. There was nobody in there. My mom could describe a person, and it wasn't a person that looked like me. So no movies for me that day because there was somebody in the room. Well, we started seeing, and my ex apparently started hearing things when he'd play the stereo. He was like me; he wanted to play it high as it went, and he would hear things that maybe he heard and maybe was, because we were both kind of on edge. He'd never seen or had anything like that happen. Obviously, to my mother, it was an everyday happening practically, even when she wasn't on one of her sick times. But eventually what happened is I had some friends over, and one of them, I had this big, huge sectional, not sexual, just want to make that clear, and a big fireplace there, and we were all sitting around talking, and my friend's husband said, who came out of your room? I guess they came out of your room because there's nothing else back there, and went into the bathroom, and they left the door open. That's just not done. He was from the South, and that's just not done. So I said, that's George. We had named him George, and I said, that's probably George. Who's George? I think he's a ghost. He's here all the time. We finally determined, we thought it was Alondra's guardian angel. It was around her the most. So my friend's husband got up, grabbed his wife, one of my best friends, and said, I will never step foot in this house again. You've got some, like I said, he's from the South. What's that? It's not the voodoo, but it's the hoodoo. You got a hoodoo in here. I'm not coming in here. You're all going to die from this. He just raised holy heck. Edith Caro, maybe you are. I'm home, but I'm not alone. I've got a cat, and my hubby, and some Funko Pops. Anyway, I didn't see him as much as other people did, and then we moved. We did have one incident at the new house, and it did have something that related to Alondra, where Alondra, had a bad thing with my new husband, who she hated, and now I hate. A tough cowboy? No. You a tough cowboy?
Yep.
But he's tough. So that is that story. Oh, short but sweet. We went to Virginia City, and this was, man, were we married yet? We weren't on our, I think we were on our honeymoon.
Probably.
Yeah, and I'd never seen Virginia City. And we went, and he wanted to take a mine tour. I know it had to be him because that is nothing I would have suggested. So we took the mine tour. They give you this old geezer, and there's like 8 or 9 people, and they take you back to the mine, all the way back to the end. That looks like it's gonna fall down any minute. I am claustrophobic when it comes to stuff like that. I don't want to be under any dirt that's gonna fall on me, or even crack or anything. So we were back there at the end, and the guy finally finished his spiel, and he was standing there, and it was he and I was starting to walk away, and I heard, "Hello." And I turned around, and there was like wood everywhere. And I said, "Hello." And the guy's like, "What?" I'm like, "Did they have kids working in the mine? He said, "Sometime." I said, "Okay, there's a little boy." I don't know how I knew if it was a boy or a girl, because kids all sound alike. So there's a little boy, and he's back there among that wood, and he needs some attention. So when you come back here, you should just say hello to him. That's all he wants. He wants attention. And I turned around and walked off. I could feel the eyes piercing my skull, wanting to know what kind of weirdo I was. But that's what I had. Now, this is going to be my last story, but we do have something fun to do after this. Okay, before I got pregnant, I had one of my severe depressions, and I was in bed for the most part for a couple months. I would get up. Oh, thank you, honey. That's fine. So I would get up to get a drink of water. My husband worked with my first husband, first house I ever rented on my own. And I would just wait for him to come so he can make me something to eat, or go out and get me something to eat, because I just was alone. I had the TV on and would just watch TV, and then every once in a while, one time I can remember I wanted fish so bad, and I actually got up and walked out, and walked down. We lived in Monrovia, California, so I walked up to, they had one of those H&R fish and chips or whatever they are, and I bought some fish and ate it on the way home. I didn't even want to stop and sit and eat it because I was afraid someone would talk to me, at which point I would probably burst into tears. So I brought my fish home. I didn't eat it all and I didn't want to carry it. It was kind of oily. So I put it in my pocket. Flash forward, oh, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks. And all of a sudden my bedroom stank. I'm like, why does the room smell like this? So I was, going around and around and oh, uh, it's in here. It was in my jacket, one of those shorty jackets that we wore back then. And I went into the pocket and I'm like, oh, fish. So I just threw everything out and sprayed Lysol and went back to bed. Anyways, one night, one day, I was sleeping and in the room, but not real loud, but it was getting louder. I heard this peculiar buzzing sound. It would like go higher and lower and higher and lower. And I was awake because I was depressed and I could feel depression hurts and I felt the hurt. But something was coming down the hallway. That's where it was coming from. We had a fairly long hallway and I had my eyes on the hallway. We had a king size bed and I was up in the corner of it, but I was down, so I didn't have to look at it, but I knew something was coming. And it was this bzzz. It was really scary. So I kept like looking down because I don't know, have you ever seen something? It could be an accident or a ghost or anything, and you just don't want to look it in the eye or look at it. So you look down, but you really want to know what it is. So I was looking down and then I saw something didn't hit, but got Wisconsin. No, I'm in Oregon. That's on the west coast of the United States, and we live right by the beach. And it's Wisconsin. Just so you know, I'm not making fun of you, but it's Wisconsin. Teacher in me always wanted to be teacher. Anyways, so I looked up. I knew it was going to be there because I'd already seen it out of the corner of my eye, and it was floating in, and it was about this big. It was, for the most part, a very light purple, and it was fuzzy, purple fuzzy. Maybe a little bit of static electricity is what I would say it was. And I was horrified and I didn't know what to do. I had nothing to throw at it, which probably would have been a bad move anyway. But after a while and some prayers on okay, we need to get rid of Scott, whoever. Funko Pops and Unicorns, sweetie, can you get rid of Scott? He's right on the bottom. Nobody used the F word here except me. Finish the story. Okay, but you still going, buddy. So pretty soon it started backing away, but it never stopped hovering. And it started backing away, but the noise stayed. The noise was there the whole time. And it actually took about 10 minutes by the time it was completely gone for the noise to get quieter and quieter and quieter. I don't know what that is, but I've known 2 other people who have had the same experience but with different colors. Like one had blue and one had red. The person who had the blue, I think, was actually a part of Ghost Adventures, and he is no more. So maybe if you watch that show, you'll know who it is. Why is Scott still here? So that's my story, and I have a bunch more, but I think y'all are bored from the get-go. So, how are we going to decide?
I don't know. Right names, I guess.
Okay. I'm going to write a number down. I've got something. She's a lot scarier than anything. Oh, no, they're not. Why am I talking now? They're not supposed to be. That's the way they are. Can you tell it's a bat? Why am I talking here? Okay, people. So I have Annabelle. I have Annabelle. Now, if you haven't seen the new Annabelle, I don't know. This is the Annabelle. There's a Annabelle that's a Hot Topic exclusive. She's more messed up, and then there's one before this one that's just normal, I believe. What? Not true. We were listening. Patty, what are you talking? But anyways, here's what I'm going to do. Of my subscribers, I'm going to write down a number from 1 to 100. Then I'll write the number down, I'll put the pen away, and I will hold it like this. You don't need to see my stories. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. And so you know I have nothing else to write. Did I win? You have to enter to win. Oh, Scott. You know what? You must have some pull here somewhere because I asked Funko Pops and Unicorns. You said you were boring. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Anyways, you know, I could get rid of you, but it just, I don't know. So I'm going to write a number here. Everybody, 140 snakes in one home. Ah. So everybody who wants to enter, who's subscribed to the channel, has to write. I've bored Patty to absolute tears, I'm sure. So you have, like they can see me pointing at the thing. So you have to put your number down, what number you're going to bet. Now, hold on. I'm going to put my number right here. Can you see what number that is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm putting my pen away, and I will have this up here right now so I can't cheat. Now, whoever wants to enter your numbers. He's actually on my right. He has a great jawline. He's like got that. I don't know, man. Why am I talking to you again? Where are you from, Scott? You don't talk to me. And if nobody picks it, it'll be the one closest. So I'm not going to sit here all day and make you guys pick it. Oakland. Are you up in the hills in Oakland? Hey, LJ, you only get one pick. One per person. You've got 3 as far as I can see. So you got to pick which one you want and tell me. Ah, my daughter used to live in Oakland when her husband went to Berkeley. Okay. Thank you, LJ. I know, Patty, he really is. A few of them are naughty. Funko Pops and unicorns. That's my girl right there. That sounded serious. Ew. A woman was found dead with an 8-foot python wrapped around her neck.
That'll do it.
I think I could outrun a python, but she was probably asleep.
You're pretty quick.
Oh, okay. I know she is. But you know, I'm sure they couldn't do the real one. I don't know why. Yeah, they have a really museum full of like the worst haunted items in the whole world. Just absolutely. But Annabelle's in a glass case, and there's like, I don't know how many prayers. I guess a priest comes every day or every week or something and does like a lock your door curse or something. I don't know. I'm not I'm not Catholic, but he comes apparently quite often to make sure she can't get out. I wouldn't take the chance. I mean, they live there with their little daughter. Date night posh party is starting soon. Yeah, yeah. They had a locked museum. I can just imagine that Zach Bagans is from Ghost Adventures. He's got a haunted museum, and he has all kinds of weirdo stuff. He has the VW van that doctor that helped people kill themselves. They killed themselves in that Kevorkian, yeah. And he has a divot box, which is silly because a lot of Jews don't even believe in demons. So apparently there's a sect or two that do. But he has, oh, have any of you seen Zach Bagans uh yeah, his documentary about the house that he bought sight unseen over the phone? Who does that? um he called it the Demon House. So he did a documentary called Demon House, and it was scary as hell. So he had the home demolished, but there was certain piece of ground that it seemed to all come from. He dug that piece of ground up, and he has it in his museum, and you can go see it. I might. I might go and see it. Are you guys all done? Oh, okay. Only 11 in here. We all picked our number. Okay. Let me see if anybody came close or actually hit it. I think I went back too far. You apparently are the stairs now. Okay. Edith got tossed, I see. Okay. Scott, you're not, you're a little bit close, but not, and you're not No. You wouldn't win anyways, but no. LJ, which okay, you wanted 11, right? Okay. Okay. Wait, LJ, okay. Oh, you wanted 66. Okay. I'm sorry, Scott. I'm sorry. I don't know why they left you because I've got people to kick people out, but I actually like you. So just leave him alone. He's fine, but you need to subscribe, bud. Or did you subscribe? I know somebody subscribed. Okay, well, nobody hit it on the head, but, and this is very appropriate for the holiday. The number was 75, and I believe I'm a Ghost, by the way, has 79. So I believe that I'm a Ghost, by the way, is getting sweet little Annabelle. But
All the curses that go with it.
yeah, and all the problems that go with it. Ah, she's happy. Okay, well, we're sending out stuff tomorrow, and this will go out tomorrow. If you can message me, here. If you could send me a message on Facebook. I'm not putting my PO down today. I know, honey, I'm sorry. We had a number thing, and I'm a Ghost, by the way, one. Ow. Ow. That's why I was talking to you and you weren't answering. I'm like, hey, she's watching TV.
Pen?
Pen. I'm a Ghost, BTW, by the way. I'm a Ghost. Don't even get all your didn't even get BTW. So did anybody at all like my stories? They are all, hand to God, true. I think I bored everybody.
Probably all asleep.
Thank you. Thank you, Kenneth. I will be voting blue because I just will. I didn't what? Patty, don't make me drive up there and smack you. What did I do? Oh, thank you, Haley, but you love me, so you have to say that. Who are you voting for, Scott? Let me guess. Oh, I guess I'll keep you, Patty. You're sweet. Kanye, yeah. Well, he couldn't do any worse than what we got. Although he would talk us to death. Scott, what do you do for a living? This is interesting. I don't know. What is that? Haley, I like your little like thingies at the end. Thank you. I appreciate it. I have fun when ghosts aren't after me. I have had a time period when I've been seeing little stuff here and there. Oh, I don't work. I'm retired. I'm an old lady. But I do sell things on eBay and Poshmark. My husband is cool. Everybody likes you. I love you too, sweetie pie. You know it. Oh, I'm sorry. You want me to start over? I won't. See, like my Chucky, I didn't think I'd ever get this Chucky. But when there's something I want, I just leave a window open and I look every once in a while. And I looked and this was there. And I grabbed him. Hopefully he won't start running around the house. And I have both of the nuns. There's not much difference between them. Like one is maybe more possessed than this one. Someone is looking in the blinds behind you. I know that's not true because we live in the forest, and if it was somebody, it'd be something. It'd probably be a bear or maybe a really tall raccoon. Nobody comes back here. We had one guy one time. Kevin, hello. You're too late. Pew, pew. You're too late to even win anything, and you didn't hear not one of my stories. And they're all true. Hand to God. Hola. It does. I'm a happy wife. Everything's cool. Yeah. So I like The Nun. It was a scary movie. Hi, Gavin. A lot of people that don't have nothing to do tonight. Did anybody here go to like a Halloween party, or is this your party?
Or haunted maze.
We have a haunted maze here in town. Did we go last year or year before last?
I think it was the year before.
Yeah, it was put on by these kids that have a theater group. Yawn. Okay, Scott, that's it. This is your part. This is my party too. Okay, somebody make Scott go away because now he's being nasty. Kevin's shooting you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Caitlin, because he was fun for a while. Then he just wasn't. Like an egg. Don't make me have to kick you. Scott's back. Did you change the spelling of your name? Happy Halloween. Bye. Thanks, Caitlin. I do not know how that works. But this I'm wearing, I actually have, oh, sorry, did I hit you? No, I might. I have oh no, what country do you live in? Oh, thank you. I took it off so I could show you that I have this. And this is a dress. It's the first time I've come on and done a video in a dress that I can remember. Yeah, the bat wings are pretty cool. Oh, they're backwards. I've been watching them in the TV because we have it off and they sparkle. I got this from Torrid, I think. I love Torrid. Pew, pew, pew. You crack me up, Kevin. It's almost time to go. I just wanted to um I just wanted to have everybody have a little fun, listen to my is that a bat? Listen to my stories that are true. Okay, really we never have anybody back here. It's pitch black outside. Nobody lets their kids come back here. Sweetie Pie, it's my name, my full name. There's two of us, maybe three of us, but I think I'm the first or second. This Oh, do you know my real name? Because I don't know if that guy's still around. Oh, really? Um, I'm a ghost, by the way. You just typed something in another language? Message retracted. Okay. Um, you can do Facebook or you can do I know. One time I put my phone in Italian, but it didn't always go in Italian, so sometimes it was fine, and then sometimes it was all screwed up. It was horrible. By the way, I am a ghost. Good movie. Hilda Colima. Hey, what's up? Not much. Oh, it would be a good, yeah, it would be. We watched scary movies yesterday. We saw a really good one, but then, did we get to finish that movie? Because the cable went all wonky.
No, you didn't get to see the end of it. But I'm sure we saw enough.
We did see it. Oh, that's a good movie. Oh no, 3? Season of the Witch? Ah, I won't be mean, but that's not a Halloween movie. It's the computer doing that. Oh, Chef says he's gonna watch Halloween 3. I know. 2 more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. I hated that. But what's it got to do with the something basic is live? What's it got to do with the Halloween movie? They call it Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Halloween. I have only seen the first 2. Yeah, I devoured the first season and the second season. I have not I've only seen that's what we could do. I've only seen oh no, we got the live thing. I've only seen 2 episodes, so I have to finish that, and I still have to watch Game of Thrones because I'm collecting the pops. Look it up. The name is I Am a Ghost. Yeah. Um, I guess when I went to see it, I bought into that it was a Halloween, it was part of the franchise. And it's okay. They made it up to me with Resurrection and a couple other ones.
H2O.
H2O, definitely. Hold on just a second, guys. Well, I'll still be here. What's it called again? Oops. I'm lost. There we are. I am a ghost. I'm going on IMDb Pro too, girl. I am a ghost. I see it. Soy un fantasma. Shot in the United States. Who's in it? It's scary. HP Mendoza did everything. This is a little bit of a, oh, how would I say this? This is an independent film. An independent film means, hi guys. Yeah, I'm not done. We haven't finished it yet. Held up. We haven't finished it yet. What was that? Where'd the cat go?
I'm sitting on the stool over here, chewing on the electrical cord.
Ah! Is she? Do you know she can't do that? Just because your mom lets
She
you.
goes zap. Oh no. Maybe
Hey.
she'll learn her lesson.
Hey, cat! Squeak, squeaks! Yes, that is such an indie film. Now, I have sit on a few panels about women in film and independent film, and the one thing they tell you is don't do everything yourself, and don't hire your friends or parents to be to be actors, because they can't act, no matter who they are. We are fine. How are you? Hi, Serenity. That's a beautiful name. See, Patty, you should write a column for a column on indie films. I used to have a whole, my whole website was indie films, but now it's pop culture. I remember, okay. You do know I get notified when you subscribe, right, Wisco? What?
Wisco?
His name's Wisco. Wisko. She's by the window? No, she's not. She's right there being a little brat.
That's Bigfoot peeking in.
Bigfoot could peek in. That is true. Also, an elk could, a deer could, coyotes.
Mountain lion.
Yeah, mountain lions. That's why I don't go out at night as much. We used to go out when we first moved here. It would be pouring rain, and we'd get our Bigfoot. But you know what I really worry about the most? The absolute most?
Zombies.
No, zombies are cool. What's his name? Slender Man. Oh my god. Slender Man scares me to death. Just met the cat Jones. I want cookies. Hurry. Hurry yourself. You'll be hurrying on the way out. Bears. Yes, we have bears. I love, we thought we'd have deers walking all over the place. Chocolate chip cookies, well, if you go and get in your car or just maybe ride your tricycle down the street, I'm sure there's cookies down there somewhere. No wonder nobody liked me when I was in high school. Chef, why you try to scare me? See, nobody likes me. Don't scare me. Oh, home baked? Well, you don't want anything here home baked. Oh, cool. You should do a live video and I will come listen to them. Ah, thank you, Patty. Did anybody email you about the reunion they just had? Me either. I felt bad. I cried. I guess I can do this, can't I? Remove. Yeah, I can do it myself if I have to. They'll be back with another damn account. I love Ghost Adventures, and we are going to watch their 2-hour special tonight because I love them. – 300 seconds. That's a long time. Sue Heck? Who used to call you that? Oh, really? Oh, you should go watch. Don't have to be here with boring old me. Ours comes on at 8 o'clock, so we have half an hour. Do you live on the East Coast? Ow, ow. We've been watching Ghost Adventures all day long. Okay. I'm not bored. Now, it takes a lot to bore me. I always find something. Well, I don't know that person. Come here, baby girl. Come here, baby girl. Come on, squeak, squeak, squeaks. Come on.
I ain't falling for that shit.
We do not condone cussing on this channel. Why, thank you, Gabby. That's sweet of you. And the cat ran away. Okie dokie. So it's 7:30, and that is the... Oh, okay. Central Time, that's why. You guys are so sweet. Okay, let me give you my email.
She forgot it.
No, I didn't. I was reading what Patty wrote. There you go, sweetie. That's my email. If I wrote it right. Yeah. You can just send it to me there. In the line, put whatever you want that'll make me know you won. Where in the South do you live, hon? Gabby? My mom was from Kentucky. Her dad was from Ohio. Louisiana. I've always wanted to go see Louisiana, but I'm a little afraid of alligators. I know in Florida they just walk out on the street like cats and dogs walk out on the streets. And I want to eat some Cajun,
Cajun alligator.
not a Cajun alligator. You guys don't eat alligators. It's cold right now, not that. We like cold. We moved here from Las Vegas. Let me tell you about some heat. Bone dry. Oh, catfish. We like catfish. We're going to just get in our car and drive to your house. By the time we get there, you should have the catfish caught and cleaned and cooked.
Eat them raw.
No, you're not. Like chicken. I heard that. Anyways, you guys, we are gonna go. I'm a ghost. You're okay? I don't cook anything. I beg him to cook me food. I don't have to beg him because he likes to eat too. We can go to the restaurant. Okay, sounds good. No STAU. Oh, I can't. I gotta watch my Zach, and I'm trying to put stuff online to make money so I can spend it on Funko Pops. Good night, sweet Patty. I love you. Good night, everybody else. Where's my Haley girl? Hi, Haley. I haven't answered your thing yet. I know, but I'm going to go. You know, we're here every Saturday night from same thing, 6 to 7:30, and we give away prizes. Love you. Okay. Night, Gabby, and good night, Kevin, if you're still here. Good night. I'm a ghost, by the way. Good night. What's that? Okay, no. Good night, Chef. Good night, Caitlin. Good night, Wisco. Good night, Hilda. And I don't see anybody still here. Anyways, I'm going to get going. So love you all. Mwah. See you Saturday. Oh, no, we got it. That one.